Hello Internet, I'm Remote Leg. Well, it's finished. The Starlight Drive-In has been restored to a glorious outdoor cinema. It took a lot of work, but I think it was worth it. If you saw my previous video on construction, you'll have seen me build the outdoor cinema. Today, we're going to add lights, defences and staff. As you can see, the finished product turned out pretty well and I'm very happy with it. Putting up lights and positioning defences is incredibly fiddly, so I'm not going to show the building of it. I'm just going to show you what we have and show you how you can do it in your settlements. Now I'm using a PC, so I'll be referring to PC keyboard commands. Console users, you're going to have to translate. So let's start the tour. Oh yeah, I have no idea who this guy is, but he's creeping me out. Can I help you, sir? Creepy guy. Anything to do with power uses copper, so we're going to need a lot of that. To get electricity to devices such as these red lights, we need to run a copper wire from a power source to the light. The same goes for these freestanding work lights. Each wire costs 1 copper. Copper wire has a limited range, so we need to add connectors at regular intervals. These lights use up one of the units of electricity that we're generating, so we'll need to add more generators if we connect too many lights. So, where's this power coming from? Down here in what I call the generator shed. Generators are noisy and smelly, so it's best to hide them away. Windmills are clean, but they're also huge and don't generate much power. The best thing about all these generators is that once we set them up, they run forever with no maintenance. Set and forget. The lights flashing on and off outside are controlled by this timed power pylon, the stick with the red and green lights to the right. This terminal lets us configure the timing. Actually, terminals let us configure anything connected to it that can be configured. This first option lets us change the colour of our lights. I'll change the colour from red to orange just to show you how easy it is. Now all the lights connected to this terminal are orange. If we want to make them different colours, we can either set it to random or put each light on a different circuit with its own terminal. I prefer normal brightness. Bright is a bit washed out for my taste. The second option allows us to change the timing of our flashing lights. We can set how long the lights are on. Let's go for 3 seconds, and how long they are off. I'll make that 1 second. Now you see we have all generators connected to the timed power pylon. The pylon is connected to the terminal and also connected to these wall mounts that take the wire outside and up the side of our building to the lights on the roof that we saw earlier. These yellow lights that go on walls are simpler. If the wall has power, then the light has power, and the light does not use up 1 unit of electricity from what we're generating. And here is the finished effect. Notice that the coloured lights are now orange because we set them on the terminal. I've also set up some lights in our concession stand area. These are just controlled by a simple on-off switch. There, much nicer. It certainly makes the area more inviting. This part looks a little darker. Let's add another light here. That's better. Notice we didn't have to run any wires this time. That's because the floor has power that I've run along the side of the foundation. It's neater this way, without wires dangling overhead. This is pretty simple electrical wiring for Fallout 4. Perhaps I'll make a video about more complicated electrical projects if there's enough interest. Here's a cheesy little trick. We can attach lights to power armour, but that's not the best bit. We can then move the power armour to leave the lights hovering in mid-air. And the usefulness of this little trick? Not much, as far as I can tell, but it's an option if you need it. Now we need to talk about how we recruit people to run our concession stands. We do this with a recruiting tower, like this one, which needs electricity. Build one of these, give it some juice and switch it on. Then we just sit back and the settlers will trickle in over time to join our settlement. We can even listen to the broadcast on our radio.
Attention.
Hey, listen Ma, I'm on the radio. Ah, big whoop.
Are you looking for a safe place to settle? Home in on these coordinates.
Eventually, these scruffy settlers will drag their sorry asses in from the wasteland looking for a handout. It's our job to provide them with a bed, water and food. It's enough to just build it. They'll help themselves whenever they need. It's also our job to tell them that nobody rides for free and they need to work for their crust of bread. Here's how we do it. We go into building mode, select the unemployed bum who's making our settlement look untidy, then go and highlight the place you want him to work. Don't click on it, just hover the mouse over it so the assign command becomes active.
Okay.
Press the assign button, on the PC it's E, and after a few seconds they say OK and start working. Hey buddy, no dancing on the furniture. These people, they get a few drinks in them.
Can we trade a few things?
Of course.
Now, I like my staff to wear a uniform. It makes the place look more professional. So here's how to get them to wear the clothes I provide. First, find a scruffy settler who is out of uniform and talk to them. Trade items and give them the items you want them to wear. Press the equip button, it's T on the PC, and they immediately start wearing it. I also take their old filthy rags away so they don't get any ideas about changing back. I've colour-coded the staff at the Starlight Cinema. People who've been given a job are in blue. Those without a career get the shabby suit. I put all their beds here, so they're out of the way. It's not a problem. I mean, what could go wrong? So, who is this, you ask? Well, this is my robot bartender. I won't go into spoilers about how you can get him for your settlement. It's enough to say that he's available if you want him.
A Mayan asks his friend if he would like to grab a drink. His friend says, well, I'm supposed to finish the calendar, but I guess if I don't, it's not the end of the world.
Undefended settlements run a higher risk of being attacked. I recommend using automatic defences rather than manned ones because we want our settlers selling popcorn and not just standing around keeping watch. These turrets are best and don't need electricity, so we can set them up and just forget about them. Each item has a defensive value. The higher the settlement's total defensive value, the lower risk of an attack. Try and get it at least as high as triple the number of people. It also goes without saying that defences will help if we do get attacked. I like to put turrets in hard-to-reach locations. This usually means on top of buildings where they get a good field of view and melee raiders can't get to them. You can reach these higher locations by adding a ladder, then taking the ladder away after you're done. In your settlements, watch out for clipping issues where items fall through floors. This is obviously a bit of a glitch. Don't use mines to protect your settlement because they can fall through the ground where you can't see them, but traders can still set them off. The traders become hostile because you've just attacked them and mayhem ensues. It's really hard to find and clear up these mines after they have sunk into the ground, so just don't do it. So there we have it. The Starlight Cinema is once again open for business. The show's starting in just a few minutes. Who'd like to buy a ticket?